Hi everyone, how are you doing? I hope you guys are doing great. Happy Saturday. I hope wherever you are is it is a beautiful day in New York, and I can't believe I'm inside. I was thinking, maybe I should have done this outside. But I am inside, missing the day, missing the beautiful sunshine. So after this, I'll be heading out. But wherever you are, I hope you are doing well. Welcome to Facts and Two Cents. Again, this is Petal. As you know, we're a channel that supports the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry, Meghan, Big Boy Archie, Baby Lily, Mama Doria, Pula Guy, the Invictus community. All of us here at Sussex Squad. One big, happy, wonderful, dysfunctional, loving, crazy, whatever you want to call us, family. And we just love it. Welcome, guys. Lots of stuff's been happening. But let's jump into the chat and see who's here. I know I've spoken to, or at least not spoken to. We were in the chat for a few minutes there saying hi to everyone before I came on. So I see, thank you all. I know Lydia was here first and foremost. Thank you, Lydia, the most awesome, one of our most awesome moderators. Lydia came on, and Lydia, I came on, and there was Lydia's already supported, and I'm telling you, Lydia, you are amazing to me. Thank you so much for always supporting. Lydia is also our 2 Cents crew member, but she always jumps in the chat and add more support, and I am so grateful for that. Thank you so much, Lydia. And awesome other moderator, Julia Rock, is here. Hello, Julia. I'm so happy you're here. So whenever Julia can drop by, she drops by and hang out with us. I am so happy to see you. And Dory's here, Michelle, Amira, Carolyn, Lottie. Hi, Lottie G. I said Dory. Yep. And Lottie G, thank you so much for your super sticker as well. Thank you guys so much for supporting before we even started. And I'm I am so blessed. We are so blessed. Thank you. Black Queen is here. Hello, Black Queen, and Carolyn, and Annie is here. Hello, Annie, saying hello to everyone. I love it. Joyce is here. Hi, Joyce. And Adrian and Glenn and Kenneth and Hazel and Melissa. Adrian, Vanessa, Janet, Barbara. Karen M is here. Awesome other moderator. Hello, Karen M. Let's see, Claudia, Beverly, Patricia, Patty. Hello, guys, and all our awesome other friends who are not in the chat, but are listening as well. 89 of our other closest friends that have jumped to 91 at the second. I'm a little bit delayed, so I get the numbers a little bit delayed. So, but anyway, guys, lots of stuff has been happening, although our fave thankfully remain quiet under their tree. That's what we want for them. Just you mind your business over there in Montecito or wherever in the US you are. I'm sure they're, I'm not sure, but I'm assuming they're in Montecito. And we just love that for them. You just stay there. You just mind your business. We'll take care of stuff on this end, however way the squad takes care of stuff. Very different from how they do it, yeah, we are just happy that our faves are silent and just being at peace and being, whatever they're doing under their tree. So we just want them to stay there. And I saw this today, Karen M. Let's just saw Liverpool booed the Queen song at their game. Of course. I just saw Dr. Shola, who is a activist. She is amazing. She just wrote a thing that we've all been saying. It's all been, God save the Queen. And her thing was well, what about the rest of us? And every person in the UK should be saying that. Why is just God save the Queen? What about the people? The anthem should be about the people of your nation, not about your queen, not just about your queen. So when it says God save the Queen, God save the Queen, what happened to the other 60 how many million people are in the UK? Don't they need saving? As a matter of fact, they probably need more saving than the Queen. The Queen's good. You know, they need to be rescued out of poverty and all that stuff. You know, it's always God save. I mean, sure, you know, you want her to be saved too, but again, there's over 60 million people also that should be represented in your anthem. So yes, Liverpool has every right to boo the Queen and boo Prince William and whomever else. I don't even know what they're playing today. Wait a minute, is today that the female soccer game? Was that where they were? I don't know. I don't know, but I did see it online, and I only heard see the girl trying to sing the national anthem, and it was just boo all the way around. So there you go. I think singers should be like, you know, whenever asked to sing the national anthem, should be like, maybe not. Maybe you all just want to play a recording of it and not put myself in that position to be, you know. And it's not the singer's fault. She's just doing her job, and they're not booing her. They're booing the anthem and have every right to boo the anthem. So yes. But yes, I'm seeing some other nefarious things coming out of the royal family. Yeah, but before we even get to that, let's start with some pretty wonderful news. And, you know, and it's not anything new, but I just thought it was kind of cute. You know, let's thank you, Karen M there. But I just thought this was the cutest thing. And this is why I love Squatty more, having our media there and our Squatty photographers and stuff. But because this was one of our Squatties seeing Harry and Meghan when they were at the UN. And I just think this is just the cutest, most just, aww. And, you know, I don't know, Baron may and the Duchess of Success may have already shown you guys this, but for the ones who haven't seen it, this was one of our Squatty who was there at the UN and waiting for, you know, and I guess hoping the Sussexes will drive by. And apparently there were paparazzis there who got frustrated, and I guess they were probably waiting a long time and got frustrated and tried to go off to another route to see if they can find them in another, you know, if the Sussexes may be driving another route. And this Squatty stayed there. And of course, she is the one that got the picture. And I'm assuming, and I saw this very quickly, so I didn't get to research as to which Squatty with this one, but I know one of the Squatties from my Duke and I podcast had shared, I think she was on CBS, they did a thing on her where she was just so excited and screaming Harry and Meghan and running after the car, and they waved at her. So I'm assuming this is her. I am not 100% sure. So again, I saw this very quickly and didn't get a chance to really research as to who this was, which one of the Squatties this was, but she was the only one that I saw. So I'm assuming it's her. And I just think I mean, look at Meghan and Harry. They're just so adorable. You know, it's just like all babies. And I'm sure she must have been so happy just to see someone just waving and loving it. And the Squatty says, I was waving and cheering so hard I couldn't keep my phone still, but managed to get this. Shame the Paps had given up waiting and missed them. Yeah, right. I'm sure, like, yeah, sure. I'm happy that they got tired and left, because, you know, this wasn't sold to a tabloid or something, you know, and we just see just the pure cuteness of our faves. And I mean, oh, just like, that's all I can say when I saw it. It's like, oh, babies. Meghan is so adorable and so dorky and adorable. I just love it. I love her. And look at Harry laughing in the background there. I'm sure they must have been so encouraged. And that's that's all we want from them, for them, you know, that they're encouraged and they know that people love them and care about them no matter what's going on and no matter what the mess that comes out from that island, that there are people here that love and love them and want them here and love that they're here. And so I mean, this picture, I just feel like I need to bottle this picture and this, you know. And then she went on to say, I was standing outside the UN waiting to see Harry and Meghan. Asked the CBS reporter how Americans feel about them. She just shrugged and said, they seem well liked, but most people don't really have a view. I feel like they're only divisive to the right wing and racist. Yeah, it's the same thing in the UK. It's the same. We have the same kind of people here as well. She goes on to say, when the car passed, we saw Meghan and she was stunning in real life. Imagine, I don't know what S-O means, Photoshop, but in the flesh. So I don't know what that part means. Maybe you guys know. There are certain terms that I'm not up on, and so y'all could tell me what that means. But I just think, I just think it's just wonderful. I love that they had this moment, and the squaddy had this moment, and this is why I want, the squad to be, whether it's Invictus or whatever. So again, please keep praying and fingers crossed that squaddies would be there taking these photos and reporting out from whatever events, like say Invictus or whatever, that we could be there. And I will always be so upset that I couldn't go because I was teaching. Ugh. But anyways, maybe next time they come, it will line with my schedule. But anyways, I just thought that was really cool and wonderful. Let's see. I know. Sweet Meghan guy. I think you mean has. I know. It's just, I don't know. There's just such nonsense going on. It's like I just want to think about for no other reason than I just don't want to get to the bad Shutter Island parts just yet. Karen says, I just saw the podcast, the My Duke and I podcast, where she shows her taking the video. Yeah. There was, I think CBS is the one that did it. That's the clip that I saw from CBS, and she had also posted it. So yeah. Moving on. Before we get, I know I see some stuff from Shutter Island coming up. We're gonna get to that in a second. I promise you, Melissa, we're getting to that in 1 second. But let's do the Meghan part first, and then we'll get to the the Shutter Island stuff. I mean, apart from them booing the Queen and her national anthem, goodness grievances. Enough of this anthem thing. Anyway, so before I move on, if you haven't subscribed, please click that notification bell, share, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you know when we drop a video. And please like, share this video, help us to grow our channel. We are just over 4,000. We're trying to get quickly to 5,000. Fingers crossed we'll get there shortly. So yeah, that would really help. And you can also join our 2 cents crew. That would be awesome. We'll talk about that at the end. But in the meantime, on to more Meghan stuff. I love this. I only started following Meghan in 2019 after they got married. Well, actually, 2019? Yeah. They got married. Okay, yeah, 2019. With baby Archie, when the baby shower. That's when I started. So I didn't. There's still a whole lot of Meghan that I don't know, and so I'm discovering all the time. So again, I'm learning along with other people as well who did not know Meghan from back in the Suits days and all that stuff. I'm still learning stuff. So this is an interview that I hadn't known was there, and I had just happened. Someone on Twitter posted it, and I was like, oh. I had no idea that was there. So, from reading through it, and especially some of what has been coming up in the last, few days, and people like on Twitter just debunking stuff from that nasty man's book and all of that stuff. And so this was one of the interviews they posted that had this stuff, and I was like, well, this is all interesting, and I don't know if some of you may know, some of you may not know about this. And this is from 2016. It's an interview she did with Ebony magazine, and it says Meghan Markle suits up for success. It says to say Meghan Markle is beautiful would be stating the obvious, but the actress is as beautifully demure, down to earth, and quite simply kind in a way that is both refreshing and rare in our selfie-obsessed age of me. Best known for her role as Rachel Zane on Suits, TV viewers also may have seen her on the big screen in Horrible Bosses or Remember Me. I love Remember Me. That is a really cool film. Actress, editor, daughter, friend, dog owner, UN Global Ambassador. Her list of titles is extensive. Markle responds hesitantly as I inquire about all the hats she wears. And she says, I don't sit down thinking about my titles and roles. I do what feels right, she says. Newly appointed as ambassador for World Vision Clean Water campaign, she was reluctant at first to take on another project. They sent me the pitch. I did that gut check, and when I read the proposal, what they wanted to do in these communities in Rwanda, I had chills. How can I turn that down? Build a well, and young girls don't have to walk all day to gather water, making them less susceptible to trafficking and affording them the opportunity to get an education. Still, World Vision takes a step further with their watercolor project. After teaching the community to use the well, children take a cup of their well water to create watercolors and what they want to be when they grow up. It gets them thinking further into the future and what life of their and what a life of their choosing might look like. It goes on to say, just little excerpts from the article. It says, LA born and raised, Markle is an only child to a black mother and white father. My mom is a yoga instructor, 100% black and dreadlocks, she revealed. And when people find out that girl on Suits is her daughter, there's often this disconnect and sometimes disbelief. It took me a long time to find myself. She goes on to say, or at least the article goes on to say, a natural beauty and a gifted actress, being biracial often left her in a gray space, on the crust of both worlds, being neither black enough or white enough. While auditioning led her to being turned away for roles too often. And this resonated in a lot of ways with me. I think one, because we just, a month ago, again, we did an episode of Meghan working with World Vision. And this was right, there, and it was just very interesting. I had no idea this was in the article until I read it, obviously. And it was interesting that they're talking about, her time with World Vision. And what I didn't know from doing the research and reading World Vision website, we always hear of Meghan going, she's the one usually going and approaching different charities and stuff to be a part of them. And she seeks them out, she researches them and all of that stuff. And to see here is like World Vision came to her. And she wasn't sure. I mean, she had so many other things that wasn't even sure she wanted to take it on until she read their proposal and then realized like, whoa, well, how can I turn this down? That's like, it's right up her alley and the things that she always wants to do. And I just, with all the things that, the lies that people have been telling about just her philanthropy, her work with these different organizations way before she was a royal or even met Harry. Actually, this was before she even met Harry. And it's to see like, Meghan wasn't out there looking for titles. She had all these titles. And as she says, like, I don't sit around thinking about these title stuff. I do what feels natural and do what feels like her. That's something that it's a thing that she can put her hands in and put her whole self in and just really run with it. And I just, I love this because again, it's, Meghan wasn't pursuing World Vision so she can get notoriety. She wasn't pursuing them so she can get, oh, look at me, I'm doing another philanthropy. As she said, they came to her and she had to do a gut check to see if it's something that she really wants to do. And until she read their proposal, then she's like, okay, I can get behind this, and it gives you a whole different perspective. Again, it seems like British reporters and their so-called biographers, whatever, for some reason don't know that Google exists. They don't know, or they're living back in the 90s when they went after Princess Diana, and they just failed to consider that all this stuff and all this information is out there on Google. And I love the way how the writer described her. It's like she's physically beautiful, but she is so demure, but she said that she's beautifully demure and down to earth and just she's quite simply, it's in a way that's so refreshing, and it's just, and so many people, when they meet her, the people who have actually met Meghan Markle, they all say the same thing. And all these people cannot be wrong. And it's funny, is the people that have not met her are the ones that are like, oh, she's this and she's that. I mean, apart from Kensington Palace and those crazy people over there. But it's just the people who are not there with, and they have their own agendas, and they just meet her and, talk to her and work with her. They all say this about her, and it's amazing. One of the things that came out in Samantha Markle's, her court case, her suing Meghan for libel because Meghan says she's an only child. I mean, Meghan has been, hello, look at this. It says Markle is the only child of a black mother and a white father. I mean, she's always considered herself an only child. She's the only child for the two of them. I mean, yes, Markle has other kids. She has family and step brothers and sisters, but she has always considered herself as an only child because she didn't have any relationship with the others. So the fact that the people are making a deal out of, we know why they're making a big deal, and again, it's just deliberately twisting a court, what her lawyer said in court, to make it look like Meghan is lying against, and the root of that whole thing, Meghan is a liar. Meghan lied. Meghan is all they want to do is to get back. The whole root of that is to come back all the way around and say, see, she's lying. Therefore, no one in the royal family was racist. That's what they're doing. They've been trying to do this since the Oprah interview. Everything she says, they twist to somehow get it back to where, see, she's lying. We're not racist. And it's just been this whole thing. And it's unreal to me that they do this sort of thing. And it's just like, people, again, there's the internet. You can go. There's research, But one of the big things in here for me, and I think that stands out at the bottom when she says, it says, being neither black nor white. And she's never black enough for some, and she's never white enough for some. Whether it's an audition or in life, we see it a lot. I mean, one of the things when this whole, at the beginning, I remember, and I came in during the baby shower. And so Sussex Squad and Sussex Squad podcast, and they're all screaming to people in the UK, reporters in the UK, can you guys please speak up and speak out? And one of the big pushback is that they didn't consider Meghan as black. And that was a lot of the reason why a lot of people in the UK weren't supporting her, because they didn't see her as black. She wasn't black enough for them to support her. And on the other hand, she wasn't white enough to fit into the royal family and for the UK press to not be racist. And you see that stuff, and it is not the only place that this happens. I mean, I spoke about that. I mean, I did a whole long Twitter thread about that with Sandy Newton, when she was going through her thing. And I see this stuff, so often with biracial brothers and sisters, where there's this trauma that happened where, they're there and they're not fully embraced by the white community, and they're not fully embraced by the black community. And they're in this gray space. And you're like, and I always think, it always breaks my heart, because I'm thinking the thing that I see and you hear it over and over and over, that biracial people say this all the time, is belonging. They don't feel like they belong anywhere. And how much that messes up a person, especially a child. When you're not, and how sometimes we're in school, and I've gone through the vicious stages of being, just being really abused at school. So, and I'm not even biracial. And so it's just like, what happens in those situations, when a child is like, they feel like, I don't belong in this group and I don't belong in this, and they're the ones alone at the table. And then they do whatever it takes to try to fit in to one group. And a lot of times that ends up happening, they start doing things that is not really them, just to try to fit in. And it is so damaging, but Meghan goes on to, in this article, and I didn't pull it in, to talk about, how she came to the place where she had to decide for herself that she is enough. And thank God that she's at that place. But so many people, even into adulthood, are not at, still not at the place where they can just be okay with just who they are, embracing both sides, no matter the rejection and all of that stuff from both sides, you know, and to be able to just live at peace and to just live in a place where it's like it's okay to just, you know, be me and accept me for who I am. And so I just think, you know, I always have a soft spot for our biracial brothers and sisters because I can't imagine what that feel. I know how important it is for me to feel like I belong, to feel like, you know, I always tell this story about always being insecure about my lips. In my family, for some reason, my lips didn't look like anybody else's lips, and it was the silliest thing. Nobody ever said anything to me, you know, in any way or even refer to my lips, but I always tried to hide my lips because if for some reason this was my thing. And we were doing this thing for national what is it, National Geographic, yeah, National Geographic. They do the genographics thing where they trace your ancestry back thousands of years, and my line started in East Africa, in Congo. Now I had never met anybody from Congo, so what do? You go Google. And that when I Googled, that was the first thing I saw was my lips. And I will never forget that day when I saw for the first time my lips. And it was Googling people from Congo. And for the first time, I felt like I could literally say, I am African. Because I would say, yeah, you know, our people from the motherland. And I was like, but I don't really know anybody from the, you know what I mean? Really, I never felt like I belong. I felt stupid saying that. But for the first time in my life, I saw someone with my lips. And from that day, I never struggled with my lips again. Because I felt, again, this is a stupid and silly example. But that feeling of belonging is so necessary. And so for me, when I see this and I see our brothers and sisters, our biracial brothers and sisters, I always want to feel like I want to be your best friend and that you know that you are loved and you belong. No matter what the other side says, you belong with us, you know? And so I mean, and again, my lips is a silly example. But for something that small, it meant so much to me. You know, I remember talking about it, actually even put it in my play, in the play that we were doing for National Geographic. But again, something that small. Well, imagine that your whole life is that you know, it's like you know, you don't fit in because of, you know, you're not too, you know, you're not white enough, and I mean, that is a huge thing compared to my lips, you know, but it's so important. So I just felt like, yeah, and I, you know, I'm hoping that, you know, and encourage all of us, if we see whether it's kids or adults who are biracial, and we know this is an issue. It's always been an issue, and I hear it over and over and over. And especially like teaching and being around kids and knowing the insecurity, especially when they get to teenage years, they need to be embraced so much by us, no matter what other people think. That when I just feel like I want to make sure that they know that they belong somewhere. They got people, you know. So, but that's just my thing on that. It just that part. I mean, the whole article resonated with me, but that part, it's something like so funny when the Thandi Newton thing came out. I did a whole long thread on Twitter about, you know, belonging, because it's a thing. So, but anyway, let me just see what you guys are in the chat. I'm just talking way too much. So I'm just talking way too much. Oh, I just took myself completely out of the chat. I'm like, what on earth? Can you guys hear me? I hope you can hear me, because I just literally took myself out of the chat. Let's go. There we go. If you could give me a thumbs up and let me know if you can hear me, that would, okay, great. Thank you, Karen. I was just literally, I'm not even sure what I did. Oh, thank you guys. That was weird. Let's see. I don't know if you guys even Oh, Robert is joining us from Rome. Hello, Robert. He is at the wine bar. Yep, some Martinellis for me. That would be great, Robert. He's like, wine bar is open. Thank you, Robert. um, so, Joyce, hey, Joyce. Joyce says they've been lying on her before Oprah interview. The interview gave them a chance to speak up and clear their name. Absolutely. Absolutely, definitely. But I think with after Oprah and talking about, especially their thing is really about we're not racist, and they have been on a mission to make to everything she says they twist to make it seem like she's lying so that they can do that, go all the way around. See, because she lied there, we're not racist. It's crazy. Let's see. Joyce again. I'm sorry. I wasn't even paying. Joyce, you're up again. It says there's so much in Meghan's life before meeting Harry that there are lots of articles and videos on her. Yeah, and I'm just catching up. I am definitely just catching up myself on. There's just a lot of stuff about her that so many of us, at least, who didn't follow her. And again, I wasn't here for the TIG days, so there's all that stuff as well. Raven 299. Hey, wait a minute, Raven. I haven't seen you in a while. Is it just me, or I just haven't seen you? Or maybe somehow I missed you. Meghan is doing the work and walking the walk, true to herself and beautiful soul. God will always bless her. Absolutely. I mean, she hasn't changed. The things that she was doing back then, and she's still doing the same thing. Nothing about her has changed. I remember Harry saying when in the speech he gave right before he left for the final time in the UK, when he's doing the thing for Santa Barbara, and he says, the same person she's the same person I married, the same person she is today. She hasn't changed. And people have changed around her, but she hasn't changed at all. And Lottie says Meghan is always beautiful, especially when she's on Deal or No Deal. She was always beautiful. And I've seen pictures and little videos of that. I mean, again, I don't think I've ever watched Deal or No Deal, so I obviously didn't know about that. But yeah, it's again, people say the same thing about her no matter what. I mean, it's just now where people now are looking for things to hate on her, that they're saying stuff, but the people with no agendas who meet her, they say the same things. Black Queen says that's our humanitarian Meg, yet they say she wasn't well known. Fools. And again, it just, the UK and this popularity nonsense, it's just like, yeah, the US isn't, and Canada is not like the UK. They're a niche, famous people. It's like they're famous within these certain communities. They may not be like worldwide famous like now she's, but within these communities she was, because I mean, she apparently, and I wasn't following her back then, but when she came into the royal family, or at least when she started dating Harry, she had more internet followers, which was like, I think it was like 3 million, than William and Kate. They had like, I think, 1 million something. She had like 3 million, so she was a lot more famous. Or if you think in terms of social media, than they were. At least her content was a lot more famous than they are, and now it still is. And if you guys notice, have you noticed I don't know if you've looked at their Instagram, but since Harry and Meghan left and don't use that Instagram, it seems that their Instagram completely stopped growing. They're not buying those followers anymore, and it's just the oddest thing. It's like, I can't believe y'all were actually buying followers when Harry and Meghan were there. And then it's just all of a sudden just stopped, and they're not growing anymore. And it's unreal. I can't believe grown adults sit there and do that kind of nonsense. It's just like, really? Black Queen says, sorry, Pedal, you're not alone in your painful childhood experience. I know them too. Oh, I'm so sorry, Black Queen. I'm sorry you experienced that. Yeah, I think especially as Black kids growing up, we have a lot of traumas. And again, my family is very, I think we're just very mixed culture. So they're very varying shades and, of us, and varying, different, I guess, it's like my family, you have African, Spanish, Chinese, you have all of this stuff mixed up into there. And so we're sort of like a mixture of things. And so it just, again, with my lips, it's just, nobody ever said anything. I don't know. I just had this insecurity. It's a weird insecurity. And so, yeah, it just, we all have these traumas that we grew up with, especially within the Black community. And it's just sad. And, I hope as adults we're able to, overcome them, as I have. Sorry. Mary, you're so funny. Mary says, hooray for petal on her lips. The sad thing is that you're not the only one. So many girls going through the same experience. Beauty comes in different ways. And that is so true, because there was a time where, and I think when I was growing up, it was thin lips. Thin lips were in. Everyone wanted thin lips. And I remember one of my teacher, Helen, so funny, Helen Gibbs, I will never forget her. But she had those lips that I always wanted and never had. And there were these thin lips, and those thin lips. And it's so weird how culture now has changed, where everyone wants big, thick lips. And all of a sudden, my big, thick lips are in. And to where people are, putting, what is it? Collagen or whatever it is they put in their lips to have big lips. And it's just like, it's so weird how things change, and all of a sudden my lips are in, it's weird, very, very weird. But anyways, Barbara, still on the lips. But I love your story about your lips and belonging. Awesome conversation starter and fitting in. Yeah, I mean, and for so many of us, I think if it's not lips, it's something else. For me, it was my lips. But for so many of us, it's different things. It could be our hair. It could be the shade of our skin, which I went through as well. Wrote a film about that. It could be the shape. It could be our hips. We have so many of these things and insecurities that, for whatever reason, whether it's just from us or someone said something to us or didn't appreciate. We have so many of those things. And I think it's all, again, goes back to being loved and accepted and feeling like you belong, no matter what your situation is, that you belong. And I think that is a thing where we lose so many people, and especially teenagers, we lose so many of them because they just don't feel like they belong. And so, and again, I think it has teaching again, and now I teach, uh, you know, teens, and they're teens that are, like 13, 14, 15-year-olds. So they are just got there. And so they have all of these kind of insecurities coming in. So I think that's one of the reasons this stuck out to me so much, because I see it. The thing about it is just really wanting to belong and feel like they're part of a community. So that's why I think that is so important. Yeah, not to belabor that point. Black Queen, thank you so much for your super sticker. Thank you for supporting. Thank you. Going on, let's see more in the comments. Okay, so moving on from this. Okay, so I am hoping that no one in this community has been shocked today, because if you've been shocked by this news, shame on you, and you're not a squatty. Because this should be the least surprising thing to any member of Sussex Squad. So when I saw this, that was what I tweeted today. I was like, this is the least surprising news I've heard, and and especially for this podcast, because we are on what? Prince Charles Corruption Part 6 or 7, probably 6 or 7 by now. we've done so many of these corruption from Prince Charles, and we're going to do a whole, I'll do a whole episode on this. I'm not even going to deal with this today. I was just going to look at this, just the headline. But I don't know. Is anybody, well, actually, let me ask you guys, is anyone here surprised by this news? Because I am hoping not. I am I am absolutely hoping that no one in this community is surprised by this. Because especially the last time we did this, which was probably 3 episodes ago, when the Charity Commission decided, after Prince Charles got a bag of cash, over £1 million, or what? No, 3 million pounds, and he got some of it in a shopping bag and another one in a suitcase, and the Charity Commission decided, oh no, getting $1 million in a shopping bag and having staff there counting out cash is okay. They're on the up and up. We're not going to investigate. Nothing to see here, folks. They're fine. And Prince Charles's charity have the nerve, gall, and audacity to be like, oh, I can't believe they think we would do something that we would do something nefarious. I can't believe we've done so much for the community. I can't believe that they're thinking that way of us. So I'm telling you, I don't know this for, I don't know. I don't have any evidence for this, but somebody at the Charity Commission needs to lose their job. It's either they do their job or they don't, or they shut down and stop, and because if an organization that has been the subject of cash for access, cash for honors, all kinds and all different types of cash for access, and all different types of taking money from some of the worst people in the world, and actually them being part of the worst people in the world with this cash. And then finally, you're hearing that they're taking money in a shopping bag, and you decide, oh no, we're not gonna investigate. Nothing to see here. Not even the fact that Metropolitan Police is supposedly doing an investigation into the cash for honor scheme. And the fact that you could come up with that, and somebody needs to lose their job. It's either that or just get rid of this whole Charity Commission and stop pretending that you're doing something, because you're not. This is a time where Prince Charles's whole charity organization need to be shut down. There is no excuse for Prince Charles's charity organizations. All of them need to be shut down. This is corrupt. This is corruption. It is ridiculous. How many articles like this are you going to see? How many? And then for the same nonsense about, it's the charity that, it's the charity that took it, and basically trying to absolve him. At least this time it's people are saying, no, we were yelling and screaming and saying, no, don't take it. No, don't take it. You should take it back. And he didn't want to take it back. This is about as low as you can get. And unfortunately, I fear that's probably lower. It is unreal. And yet these people, they are sitting on all this information. Again, this happened back in 2013. They have been sitting on all of this information. And these people have the nerve, gall, and audacity to be attacking Harry and Meghan, and especially Meghan. They have the nerve to be going after a Black woman who all she did was fall in love with a man. That's all she did. They have the nerve, and they have been sitting on this information all this time. This is how despicable that island is. How despicable those people are. And yes, good for Gabriel Fergand, who has been, one of the head reporters who's been reporting on this since last July when this came out. This is like a whole year of Prince Charles's corrupt behavior. And yet Not one person has held them to account. Not one person has had the guts to say, you are guilty of doing this stuff. And these people have the nerve to be claiming that Meghan is trying to take down the royal family, that Meghan is doing. I mean, I am telling you, it is unreal to me. And yet, this is the person that, you know, the UK is like, oh, this is going to be our next king. And in fact, as a matter of fact, you know what? He is the king you all deserve. Because this is a cesspool. This is a cesspool. And to know what the, you know, and yes, it's his brothers or his relatives, but again, for you as supposedly these, you know, upstanding people to be taking money from anyone in this family, knowing what they have done in the world, it is it is. This is where, you know, like not that the US is any better, but I mean, anyone who, I know that they're supposedly head of state, whatever, but this is where they need to cut them off. I mean, if this is something, if this is what you're going to be doing, this is what it's like, why would I want to have any kind of relationship with these people? Because here are people dying because of this man, and here's Prince Charles taking money from his family. Look at the wreck. I mean, you think about 9/11. Look at all the people. And I can't even get. I can't even. Let's just move on. Sandy, thank you so much for your super sticker. I appreciate it. I appreciate your support. And not that this is any better, but at least I'm not gonna get into 9/11 and just I can't even get into that. But anyways, thank you so much for your super sticker, for supporting. I really, really, really appreciate it. Yeah. Let's see. Before we even start with this one, yeah, H Knight says Charles is the biggest crook in the royal family. He is going to make sure he's fixed for life. Yeah, I mean, you know, and they said, yes, it went into the charity and all of that stuff. You know, just stay on this if we're going to do this. We'll get to William in a second. Yeah, they said it went good, you know, all the money went into the charity, whatever, but I have serious doubts about that. I have serious doubts. I don't trust anything that comes out from anyone in the royal family. If they tell me it is pink, I know it's blue. If they tell me something is up, I know it's down. I don't believe anything they say. And judging from all of this stuff, yes, they're saying, yes, it all went into the royal family. I mean, it all went into its foundation and all of that stuff. I don't believe it. I don't have any, I don't have any, you know, proof that it all didn't all go in there, but I just don't believe anything these people say. I don't believe that they are not profiting off of this stuff. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. One of the things that I, you know, learned from, there was a book, I think it's called, And What Do You Do? Not that I believe a lot of stuff in there because they were all over the place and lying about Harry and Meghan. I think they took all that stuff from the tabloids. But part of what they were talking about is how the royal family made money back in the day is when, you know, it wasn't called the sovereign grant back there. I forgot what it was called before they changed it to the sovereign grant. But what they would do is they would skim money off of it. You know, they would take money for themselves and then the rest of it they will use for, you know, say for the palaces and stuff like that and for the general operation of the monarchy. But they would skim money off the top of that. And that's how they built a lot of their fortune by skimming. So look, I don't believe anything these people do. I don't believe anything they say. You know, it just, all of it is just nasty. Yeah, it's just, yeah, Adrian, English should be in an uproar, you'd think, but I think they're so used to the nastiness, they're so used to the corruption, it's just like, they're just like, now it's like, okay, well, all right, next. You know, if it was an article about Harry and Meghan, I'm sure it would be shared a million times. This article, I'm sure the majority of Brits will just see it and go right by it. They will not even think to read it because it doesn't matter to them. He's going to be king, so it's okay. It's unreal. It's unreal. Stacey says, all they worried about is skin color and textured hair from his bigoted wife, who thinks she's now queen of the country. And that's another issue too with them and this nonsense. It's like, all of a sudden it's about hair color. I mean, Harry and Meghan said skin color, but it's all about hair color apparently. Unreal. Let's see. Adrian says people are trying to survive and he's collecting money. The excuse is charities. I don't believe it's for no charities. I don't believe it's for the same thing. That's why I'm like, if the charity commission was up and up, and again, I don't have any proof that they're not, but judging from not investigating the last, millions of pounds in a shopping bag, then deciding to not investigate, that makes me go, there is something really rotten about that. Them not investigating and taking some form of action with the cash for access, cash for honor schemes. Again, it is so much. Again, we're up to 6, 7. I don't even know. I have to go back to count how many of these Prince Charles corruption episodes I've done. And it's like, it is clear as day that there is a problem here, and a big problem, and a rotten problem that nobody is doing anything about. It is unreal. So I'm like, somebody needs to lose their job at that charity commission, but again, they're not going to do anything because why? Prince Charles is going to be king. The same thing with the Metropolitan Police's investigation. Nothing will come of that because he's going to be king. Unreal. Marjorie says the street fight starts. Clarence House leaks pegging while Kensington Palace leaks ill-gotten gains. Neither should be king. So despicable. I'll tell you, if you had any doubts as to where all of this cash for access, cash for honors, taking cash from Bin Laden stuff is, again, I have I don't have any proof. I don't have any receipts so that it definitely came from Kensington Palace. But I have said it from the beginning. If I had to guess, that's where my guess is. And this would be the perfect time to release this Osama Bin Laden Prince Charles taking cash from Osama Bin Laden family. This would be the perfect time. Why? Because what's been trending the last couple of days? Prince William and his pegging ways. And so it just is one of those things. I mean, and I haven't gotten into, I'm not going to get into pegging stuff. It's just not my thing. But if it's the perfect time to release this information, and I'm sure they've been holding this for something big where they would need it, and they will need to turn the world's attention away from Prince William's mess, this would be the time to release this. This would be the time to do it. And again, I don't have any evidence of it, but from the beginning, just the way how the one person that has been absent from all of this stuff has been Prince William, that's where, if I were to guess, that's where I would believe this is all coming from. Because the only person that benefits from this, Prince William. And so, so much for the royal reporters are trying to like, oh no, him and Prince Charles's relationship are great since Harry and Meghan have moved away. They have gotten closer together and all this. Sure. Now that William don't have Harry to throw under a bus, yes, of course. That's why we're seeing this. And again, for lawyers listening in, I have no proof. I have no evidence that this is the truth. But if I were to guess, allegedly, let me put in all my allegedlys in there. If I were to guess, that's where I think this is coming from. Because again, the only person who benefits from this today is Prince William, because it will divert, just by throwing Osama Bin Laden's name in there, it will divert a lot of attention away from pegging, you know. So anyways, that's about all I'm going to say on the P word. And I am so happy my mother did not ask me about that, because I was not about to sit there and explain that to her. Thankfully, hopefully she hears this. She doesn't start to bring it up. So don't even ask Mom, because I'm not going to explain it. So there. I know other people's mothers and grandmothers have been asking. I was like, oh, thank God mine is not curious. Thank the Lord. So, Wendy Lohman says London Bridge is definitely falling down this week with all the tea. With all the tea this week. Yeah, it's been laden with a lot of tea, that's for sure. It has definitely been laden with a lot of tea. It's like unreal. Reba says, we all do not believe it. Corrupt to the core. Absolutely. And again, I will say this for the millionth time. Why is Prince Charles the head of the Commonwealth? I don't care. Honestly, as much as I hate him being, it's like, okay, he's going to be the next king of England. I don't have any, I don't have any play in the game in England. That's not my issue. I was like, that's the king y'all deserve. Even though it's like I want the monarchy abolished and all of that, I don't have any skin in that game. I do have in the Caribbean, however. And for me, this is where I have the big issue of why is this man going to be the head of the Commonwealth? This corrupt individual. Why is he? Why would they allow this? And, it's so funny. And again, I don't have any evidence for this. Don't quote me on it. I don't have any evidence. But the more I think about it, is one of the things, a few episodes back, I did an episode about the City of London when Harry and Meghan were in the UK and they skipped out on going to the City of London. And so we did a thing with the City of London, and I shared and I put the link in our show notes of this documentary about the City of London. One of the things they talk about in the City of London in that documentary is all the money from Africa, especially, that are in British territories. They are in British offshore territories, those tax havens. And I don't know if this, again, I don't know. But the more I think about it, I'm like, you hear these stories a lot where leaders from from African countries and stuff like that would have all this money that they have laundered out of their countries. And a lot of that stuff end up in these territories that are British and American territories that are tax havens. And I'm like, I wonder, and I don't want to say that anybody's country, and I'm not saying that, but it's something that made me go, I'm like, the UK, the biggest tax havens that are out there are from the UK. They're British tax haven. You think of the Cayman Islands, Jersey, the British Virgin Islands, the whole bit. They are British. And I'm like, is that the reason why? I am hoping not. But is that the reason why he is there? That the royal family is I don't know. It's like, because I can't for the life of me understand why. I can't find any reason why you would keep these people as the head of the Commonwealth. And again, I'm not saying anybody is, but when I saw that how many millions of dollars from Africa and from all these nations that right now are in the hole and they owe all this money because their leaders have laundered so much money out of their countries, and that money they're now in especially British tax havens. And you guys can I'll actually pull the YouTube video into the show notes for this as well, so you guys can watch it. But it's shocking, because if all that money had stayed back in those countries, they would not be in debt right now. There's so much more money that's laundered than what they owe that their debts would be wiped out. And it's really sad. It is really eye-opening to see. And a lot of that money is laundered through the City of London. And so it's, again, I don't know. It's something I'm thinking about. Again, I'm not saying anybody's country is doing it, but it's something that gave me pause, because I don't understand why even after all this stuff has been happening and they just had that meeting in Rwanda, I don't understand why they did not vote this man out. And they are only at the place of, well, we are concerned for all the stuff that is happening, that you're only at a place of we're concerned. That is just, yeah. Anyways, moving on. And Wendy again says, and yet the British taxpayers are silent and no protest in the street. They're not. There's no protest. There are no protests at all. Nobody is saying a word, Karen says, and you'll have to ask, how much are they getting for not investigating about Charles' charity? I'm like, I don't understand. Yeah, it's like, if you are supposed to be where you investigate charities and you investigate this kind of stuff, I don't know how you can come up with, again, anybody with any kind of common sense. That's why everybody was like, what? I don't care if they say they were in the up and up. I don't care if they say, okay, no, it went to Coots. And again, that Coots, whenever I see a bank or whatever they have branches in Jersey and the Cayman Islands and that is red flag for me. Maybe they're not doing anything, but when you have branches of your company in tax havens, that's red flags right there. Whether you're doing anything or not, it definitely perks me up. It's like those ears and antennas come up, but it's like, I don't understand how you can have a charity commission say, and you can see something like that. And I don't care if it's on the up and up and up at all. I don't care if the police were there and they were watching every money and they literally took the money into Coots themselves. You are a charity commission. You look for something. You try to find, you look. You don't just say, oh, no, they said they're okay and they said they did everything, so then it's okay. I don't understand. I'm sorry, I'm ranting about this. It's just like, I don't, because it affects the Caribbean. And again, it was like, I don't mean to rant about this, but it's like, again, how is this man going to be the head of the Commonwealth? It's like, Mara, stop. Just stop. You are so messy, as Baron would say. Messy, messy, messy. Wendy, I keep putting, it's like it's all about Wendy today. Clarence House versus Kensington. Bring your popcorn. Boxing match is getting messy. It sure is. If you didn't think that came from William before, it definitely looks that way. Again, allegedly. Oh, let's see. Oh, Denise, hi from Greece. Denise says, hello, Facts and Tuesdays. Love listening to your podcast. Princess Meghan's biggest fans from Greece. Oh, I'm sure she is so happy to hear that. Oh, we are happy to have you, Denise. Vinny says, the money may have gone to his charities, but the charities also renovate his homes because there's no separation between charity and personal expenses. I'm telling you, I don't. Wait, Vinny, do you know, where did you read that? Because I didn't know that the charities renovate his homes. That is interesting. If you can put in the chat or in the regular comments, I'd love to check in. I've never checked in about his renovations. I just assumed they came from the Duchy of Cornwall. I didn't realize the charity did that. I know the charity would be doing like his pet projects, like the the Castle of May and Dumfries House. Yes, that Dumfries House. They're doing all the renovations and all the stuff that they're doing. Again, all of this money has been going, supposedly going into those. But again, I don't trust that they're not getting personal money out of this. I don't trust it. I don't have any proof, but would I be shocked? No, Absolutely not shocked at all. Joy says, Harry and Meghan are in Montecito enjoying their lives and children. They are not concerned about that island and what's going on. I'm telling you, let them just stay under their tree. Stay under their tree, being nice and calm over there. Happily not knowing any of this mess. K9 says, according to previous articles, the RR and RR, William and Charles have never had a good relationship. No, they haven't, for very good reason. I mean, the same thing with Harry. I mean, Harry was closer to Charles than William, apparently. William never really respected Charles. The point is, Charles is not worthy of anybody's respect. That's the whole thing. One of the reasons is because Charles used to sell them out. There's documented proof of Charles using his children to get good publicity. He will sell them out to the tabloids and make them look horrible so he can get good press. So one of the reasons they don't respect, I can't blame William for that. I mean, I could blame William for a lot of things. That would not be one of those things, because that is what, I mean, we just saw Charles do the same thing a few weeks ago, trying to hide behind a 1-year-old baby Lily and 3-year-old baby Archie, big boy Archie, really, so he can hide his millions in a shopping bag. He basically used a 1-year-old baby to hide his horrible ways of taking money, millions of dollars, millions of pounds in a shopping bag, and use that baby to cover himself. So this, again, no respect. I don't blame the other brother for not respecting him. I don't blame him at all, because he's not worthy of it. Respect is earned, and he has not earned it. And even it's unreal. And even as in his old age, you think, okay, I've done all these things, I gotta come clean. He will never come clean. These people will never apologize or take ownership of what they've done, ever. Lottie says Charles is never going to be king. If he does, he wouldn't get any respect, because folks would be thinking about Princess Diana. The look of it, Queen Betty ain't going nowhere. Honestly, Queen Betty's like, I need to stick around because this is a whole mess. My monarchy is going to go down. I worked for this my whole life, and this is going to go down the minute I go down. I mean, Queen Betty's probably has another 10 years of life left. It's just like, because this is a whole mess, I mean, again, it's hard to respect that, and they're trying to get people to like Camilla, and it's like, no, the press that she's been in bed with like her. And the thing that I'm happy about is more and more reporters are speaking up and saying, no, the people they are not into Camilla. Nobody is excited about Camilla being queen. The British press, like that, the Daily Mail and the Sun and stuff that she's in bed with, they've been the only ones, lauding this Queen Camilla nonsense. But people, regular people, I mean, I'm sure there are a few that like her and have sort of warmed up to her. But on the whole, British people aren't up with this whole Queen Camilla nonsense. They're not here for it at all. So it's actually been good. Even reporters that I don't, British reporters that I don't care about have been, at least been honest, like, and they're challenging people like, no, that's not true. People are not here for it. So, Karen says, if Harry is still with the family, we wouldn't hear half of this stuff, because they would be throwing Harry under the bus, and Meghan, I would say. Yeah, I know this stuff is only coming out because the Sussexes aren't there. And that's the thing. That's what I'm happy that they left, because I'm sure they know this, because they would find some. I mean, even now they're still finding stuff to, ridiculous stuff, but anything to throw the scent off of them, none of this stuff would have come out if Harry and Meghan were there. Let's see. Adrian says, maybe he's collecting money for Camilla's children and grandchildren. Could be. But I mean, these are not, and I think the thing about this is, these are not poor people. These people have so much money. They don't need to be doing this. They don't need to do this. And this is, for me, it's the same. I think of this the same way as when rich people just steal money because they don't need it. It's kind of like, yes, well, I can get away with this, so why not? And that is just like, you don't need the money. This is a rich man. This man has been wealthy his whole life. The queen is one of the wealthiest people in the world. They don't need this money. They have the biggest landowners anywhere, and especially in the UK. They don't need this. Yet I don't even get this. Greed, man, greed. Marcia says, hi, Marcia. Marcia says, what is the role of a king and what on earth hasn't the Caribbean cut? Why on earth has the Caribbean hasn't the Caribbean cut them loose? Well, we've got now 7 of those countries that they visited in their shameless offensive tours are, they're working on saying bye-bye. I mean, the rest of all of them need to really literally go bye-bye to this nonsense. This is like a whole mess. You go be you go be corrupt in the UK. That's your thing. But when it comes to dealing with the Caribbean stuff, it's like, this is not somebody that should be heading anything. Definitely, it's unreal to me. Anyway, let's move on. Enough of Prince Charles's mess. Move on to Prince William's mess. And I share this article in our community page. And just so I can say this, for all of you who are new to 2 Cent Screw, I share stuff through our community page. So the community page. So hopefully you've been able to access our community page and know that that's where, again, for our 2 Cent Screw members, that's where I would post stuff there. So hopefully you know that. So just in case you didn't know, this was an article that was in the Daily Beast. And I don't usually read Tom Sykes stuff because he is a royalist and he's sometimes very impartial. And sometimes he's really nasty to Harry and Meghan. So I don't usually use his stuff. But this is where Andrew Morton, if you know Andrew Morton, he's the one that wrote the Diana book, which is right. You'll see the Diana book right on the other side, on the left side, the true story in her own words. And so he's the one that wrote that book. And this is where he gave the interview. So I had to pull it from there because that's the only way he gave the interview. And this is about, it says, Prince William has silenced his mother. Princess Diana's biographer, Andrew Morton, says. And we know we've been talking about this since last year when the BBC report came out and Prince William came out with that statement saying that, Princess Diana was paranoid and all of those things. And basically, he was the one then spearheading BBC to silence Princess Diana and to not, air the BBC documentary with Martin Bashir. And so Andrew Morton, who wrote this book, and just got some excerpts from that article that he wrote, or at least the interview that he gave with Tom Sykes from the Daily Beast. And I'm just going to change this view so that it's not blocking anything. Okay, let's just take that off. Okay, great. And let's just get this here so we can read it. Okay, so it says, Morton defended the Panorama interview as an accurate representation of Diana's attitudes, fears, and beliefs at the time, notwithstanding clear evidence of underhand, duplicitous behavior by the BBC reporter who conducted the interview, Martin Bashir. Asked how he responded to William's call for the interview to never be screened again, a request to which the BBC has now acceded. Morton said, "It is a supreme irony that it is her son who has led the call to posthumously muzzle Diana, to silence her, to prevent her from being heard, from saying what she spent her life trying to articulate. Disgraceful." Morton said, and again, these are clips from different parts of the article. Morton said, Martin did contribute to her sense of paranoia and her sense of being watched, and so on. It was a feral atmosphere at the time. We regularly swept Diana's room at Kensington palace for bugs. But Diana wasn't the only one who was suspicious. The Queen was baffled and concerned about the tapes that kept appearing, as well as Charles and Camilla's tampon tapes. There was Squidgygate, in which Diana was taped talking to a friend candidly about a range of private matters, and a tape of Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson talking about their private lives. It goes on to say, and it is understandable to conclude when you have 3 intimate conversations by members of the royal family appearing on tape, that it is more than a coincidence. That is a conspiracy. Morton writes in The Pursuit of Love that Prince Philip explicitly threatened Diana that there was a tape of her discussing newspaper serialization of her true story. Diana shrugged it off, as she had not had any conversation, but the anecdote illustrate the climate of fear and suspicion that pervaded the palace in the 1990s, and goes some way to explain why Bashir was so easily able to convince Diana she was being spied on. Blah blah blah. I can't speak. And it is just unreal to me. And again, when Diana did this interview, Morton's book, pretty much all the things that Princess Diana shared with Martin Bashir, she had already shared it, and that was already in Andrew Morton's book. So nothing, again, that she said in Martin Bashir's, other than, there are 3 of us in the marriage, that, very popular quote that she said to Martin Bashir. Everything else she had already said. It was known. I mean, even more, Andrew Morton even said further in the article, and again, I'm going to put a link to the article if you haven't read it, that it was like a thing with her. It was like a shtick. It's all of those things. She had already believed them. So nothing she said, he even goes on to say, yes, Martin Bashir may have been conniving to get her to do the interview, but once the camera was turned on, he didn't force her to say anything she had said, because why? She had already said them. She had said them to him, and it was already in a published book. So and also the idea that the interview is what caused her, that he disagreed, and again, even with the paranoia thing, like he said, again, Andrew Morton's book was before this interview. He said while they were doing the book, they were already doing sweeps of Kensington Palace, because why? We had the squidgy tape. That's the reason we had that tampon thing, because they were already being bugged. Charles was bugged, Andrew, Diana. So there were all this suspicion. Even the Queen, he said, even the Queen was like, she was befuddled. Like, all of this. So if you're living in that environment, of course you're going to be paranoid. Of course you're going to think people, because they actually were listening on her stuff. And again, you had to deal with the fact that Charles was cheating and all of those things. If Princess Diana was paranoid, she had every right to be paranoid, and even like Robert Jobson, who, again, I talked about this last time, works for the Express, said the same exact thing. She wasn't. She had every right to feel the way she did, because all of those things were actually happening, so it just, and again, I think the whole thing with the article is just that the fact that her son, Prince William, that despicable person, is the one that's been leading the charge to silence his own mother. Like, I think for me, I've said this from the beginning, from the first time I heard that speech. I expected anything from Prince William that I did not expect. I did not expect her own child to do that to her. And as Andrew Morton said, it prevents her. He's trying to silence her, to prevent her from being heard, from saying what she spent her life trying to articulate. That is what Prince William just put a muzzle on by, siding with the BBC. And we see that also, not only him, Princess Diana's own brother is in on this whole thing. Because, and that's my thing with Earl Spencer. What is his deal? Like, he has been now saddling up with the Daily Mail. That's been who he's been giving all these exclusive. That's even how Lord Dyson started the investigation, because he was doing these exclusive with the Daily Mail, and that's how they got that whole thing opened up again. What is his deal with the Daily Mail? What is he getting out of this? You know, we know that the Daily Mail did not just get an exclusive and they didn't have to give anything. What is Earl Spencer? What is Charles Spencer getting out of this? All of a sudden, he's undecided. This is the man who was really railing against the royal family at Diana's funeral, and all of a sudden, he's on the same page with William and Charles about silencing his own sister. His very sister that apparently he didn't even want to give a home to when she needed a home and she wanted to go back to Althorp. He said no. Apparently that's allegedly that was the thing. I'm like, what is his deal? Because surely he's not doing all of this for free and he's not getting anything out of this. And I don't want to again, I don't have any proof of any of this, but it makes me go, what is Princess Diana's brother getting out of all of this? And again, what they've been doing is trying to really take down a brown man. Notice they haven't gone after all the other people who have gone after Princess Diana. And as Lord Dyson's report says, if Martin Bashir, again, I am not excusing Martin Bashir's behavior. As a journalist, what he did was horrible. It was wrong. It was, pick a word and throw it at him for what he did and how he got that interview. But as Lord Dyson's own report from the BBC said, if Diana didn't do it with Martin Bashir, she would have done it with somebody else. She was perfectly fine. She wrote a note in the end saying she was fine with it. She liked it. She was fine. She would have given that interview to anyone else if it wasn't Martin Bashir. They are trying to take down Martin Bashir. They are trying to, all of them were part of what happened with Princess Diana. They were all part of it, all of the press. But look at who they're throwing all their darts at. If Princess Diana had come to any one of them, they would have taken that interview. But no, you see, Martin Bashir is the brown person. He's the brown person who got the interview. Unreal. It's no different from what they're doing to Meghan. They have all of this nastiness. They find a brown person to throw their bricks at. And yet they claim, we're not racist. Oh no, we're not racist at all. Unbelievable. Cadley 50. I'm sorry, Cadle 50. I've never seen you here before, Cadle. Welcome, and thank you so much for your support. I appreciate it. Just love your passion and compassion for doing that. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate your support and appreciate you being here. And if you were here before and I missed you, I am sorry. But it's the first time I'm seeing that. Cadle 50. Thank you very much. And Justy, thank you so much. Justy siempre. Thank you so much for your super sticker. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Marcia says, genuine goodness is threatening to those at the opposite end of the moral spectrum. Earl Spencer, where did he go? What did he have? What did they have on him? I don't know. But all I knew with him was he had made all these promises to take care of Harry and the other brother, and apparently he never did anything. He never did a thing. So, again, I just... lots of questions about Earl Spencer there. Ania 13 says Charles is greedy. Yeah, definitely. That definitely is greed. Earl Spencer is a fraud. Again, it's a big question mark for me, especially when, and I think what also gets me my goat with this whole thing is look who they're siding with. Look who they're going to bed with. The Daily Mail is trying to destroy his nephew and his wife's life. The Daily Mail has been, how many lawsuits does Prince Harry have against the Daily Mail, and then also Meghan won against them? They're libeling him, all kinds of stuff the Daily Mail has been doing. Yet Earl Spencer and Prince Charles have decided to go into bed with them. What kind of people are they? Who are these people? What kind of money or whatever it is? What is the Daily Mail throwing at them, or what does the Daily Mail have on them that they're in bed with them? I mean, Prince Charles, you can see right away, but what do they have on Earl Spencer? Or what are they giving to him? All of those question marks. All of those questions I have about that. Because why else would you do that when your own nephew, when they've been trying to literally destroy your own nephew? Why? And also what they even did to his own sister when she was here. Look at some of the articles they would write about his own sister, the same sister that he's claiming to love. Like, I don't even understand. So, anyways. Starry says, greetings, squad. I rewatched Diana's interview today. The parallel with what is happening with Meghan is just mind-blowing. And the real reason W is banned, wants it banned, I suspect. Yeah, they don't want you to see the parallels. They don't want you to see the history repeating itself, because then it gives credibility, it gives credibility to what Meghan is saying. If you don't know history, then you have nothing to compare it. And that's why, and thank God for YouTube and all, I hope you guys all have copies of it. However, you got copies of this, because don't be surprised if pretty soon you don't find it anywhere. They don't want you to see that this has happened before. And they're doing the same thing. There's an interview, the Diana, in her own words, at the end of it, they talked about, it was so bad for Diana. It's like people didn't want her anymore. The abuse was so bad, and it's kind of, you had the feelings as I was watching, you had the feelings like this is exactly what they're doing to Meghan. It's kind of like they got to the point where it's like, we just want to get rid of you. And it's, and it's so weird watching that too, because Ken Worth is in that, and it's like the same Ken Worth that we've been talking about there, who was like, oh, why is Harry, why is Harry asking for security when he's left the royal family and all this mess? Same Ken Worth. Hey, looks like we have some adult dating site in the chat. If our moderators can get rid of these adult dating things in the chat, that would be so helpful. Thank you, guys. How did these people find this channel? I mean, unreal. Troll, yes. So if you guys can, for some reason, I am not able to get rid of them on my end. So, let's see, put user in timeout. Okay, I think it did it. Yep. Yep, there we go. Uh-oh, I hope I did. Yeah, okay, great. That got rid of it. Okay, yeah. How do these people get into this? I mean, I don't even know how they find this channel. It's like, why would an adult site? We're not doing anything adult. Could it be because we said the P word? Oh, no. I hope that's not it. I hope that's not because we said the P. Okay, we'll just keep it at the P word. Unreal. Let's see. Let's move on from this and see what else we have. What else do we have? Oh, one of our squaddies brought this up. She posted this, and I think it's a squaddie. Sometimes people, they just support they support Harry and Meghan. They're not necessarily squaddies. But one of them, Just Juliet. I think Just Juliet is a squaddie. She's a squaddie. Posted this, and I was like, well, now, isn't that interesting? Shakira the Spanish singer who the hips don't. I think she's the one. The hips don't lie. I think her famous song. I don't really know what else she sings, but that is the song that I remember. Hips don't lie. So she apparently has gotten into some trouble in Colombia. She's Colombian, and says a Spanish prosecutor has asked for more than 8 years in prison for Colombian superstar Shakira, and a fine of more than 23.5 million in tax fraud case. Spanish newspaper EIP El País reported. And I was like, whoa, that's a lot. I don't know what happened there, but somehow they are gunning for her to try to get her in prison for 8 years and fine her $23 million. $23 million? That's a lot. And the thing, and why is this important? As you can see, here's a picture of her with Prince William. Is, if you don't know, Shakira is part of Earthshot. She is one of their councils. And you can see her here at the bottom, and these are the other people that are part of Earthshot. She is part of Earthshot. And I was thinking about that, and I was like, if somebody in, that was associated with Archwell, as the government of that person's country is going after them for tax fraud, or and threatening them with 8 years and $23 million fine, what would the press be doing today? And very interesting, this is all out there, and if this squatty hadn't posted that, I had not heard one word about this. Not one person in the British press has reported this, at least not that I've seen. Maybe it is and I haven't seen, but I have not seen any headline come across anywhere that has this and has this connection that she is a part of Earthshot, and yet she is facing 8 years and $23 million fine. If this was a person attached to Archwell, you can be sure every paper in the UK would be screaming this from the rooftops. And this is the kind of bias, and this is the kind of thing that we keep talking about the whole time. It is unreal. I mean, again, I don't know the backstory of Shakira and her mess. I honestly don't even care. I wish her well. I don't want to see anybody go to jail for 8 years. I mean, I don't know. I don't know the whole thing and how I have no idea. And I'm literally not even going in there, to find out. But again, if she was attached to Archwell, we would not hear the end of this. And no one in the British press is saying a word about this. And so again, and I keep saying it all the time, if people from Sussex Squad don't bring this stuff up, nobody else does. Only here you'll find, only among the squad you'll find this stuff. And thank God for, our squaddy who brought it. It's like, I didn't know. He hadn't paid attention to who the Council of Earthshot is. And she brought it up. And I'm grateful, because so many squaddies will go in and find these things. And you're like, oh, wow, I would have never even known this. So it's just, yeah. Unreal. Let's see what y'all saying. Anfu says, will he go help Shakira with her alleged tax fraud? After all, she's part of your Earth. She is a member of your team. Well, it's one of those things. They're not going to help. The royal family take. They don't necessarily give. And if they give, they get benefit from it in some way. They don't just give stuff to just give stuff. It's usually when they are getting some kind of benefit from it back, and I don't see what kind of benefit they'll get from this. Who knows? But, I wish Shakira well. That is horrible to even have to face something like that. But, I don't think, that would be shocking if they helped her in some way. Very shocking. Charities says, wasn't Andy advised to do his car crash interview? One of his agent immediately quit for not listening to him. But to one of his daughter. I knew one of the his people quit. I guess was his like sort of like a PR kind of person. So is his daughter that told him to do the interview? I mean, I know they said that Beatrice was there with him when he did the interview. I didn't realize she was the one that advised him to do it. Who knows? Janet says the BBC interview has been taken off. Yeah, they said they're not gonna be doing it, so they're not gonna be showing it ever again. But again, you can find it on, I mean, YouTube, or hopefully it's parts of it. I mean, when I got it, it was like parts. I saw it in parts. Yeah. But if you don't have it, I think everyone needs to somehow get a copy of it before it completely goes, so that way we can always upload it onto social media or something, and so that Princess Diana's voice and her words do not get silenced. That's the one thing they want to do, and the one thing we need to make sure that her voice, because if they could do that to Princess Diana, believe me, they're going after. That's the reason why they're going after. Oh, Princess Diana was not. She was paranoid. She was this. She was that. Because you hear the same language directed at Harry all the time. They always go after his mental health, and that is the same thing they're doing. They're doing to they did to Princess Diana. The thing about it too, and then the narrative that the narrative that is out there is that Meghan is doing all this stuff to him to make him be paranoid, to make him do all of this stuff. She is controlling him and making him, and so that's the narrative that they're using now. But it all is the same thing. It all goes back to, we want to make sure that people think Harry is crazy, so that way we can silence his words, and we can blame it on Meghan. It's like, oh no, he's just crazy because Meghan did this and Meghan did that, Meghan did the other. So they're doing literally the same thing. They're just trying to use different ways of doing it. They're creatures of habit. They're literally doing the same thing. They figure it's still the 90s. So let's see. Peddle, it was reported on Sky News that she has 2 children by a soccer. Oh, good. Well, there you go. I stand corrected. Sky News reported it. Yes, I do remember she has 2 children with a soccer player. I don't remember who the soccer player is, but she does. And it is weird. I'm like, I don't even know. Was she just not paying taxes? I don't know how you get $23 million in debt with taxes. Like, I don't even understand how you get there. But however she got there, I mean, I hope they're able to resolve it, and that she's able to. I mean, as a woman, I don't know. In times, the thought of a woman going to prison is just, yeah. Shakira went through a divorce. Oh, she did. Oh, I had no idea. Okay, well, there you go. That's hard. Ooh. And is her husband or her ex-husband going through, is he also being charged with tax evasion or whatever as well? I mean, it's always the woman, isn't it? Always the woman getting, attacked in some way. And again, I don't know this whole story, so maybe I should just stop talking. I don't know the back end of that story. I just know the part where she's attached to the Earthshot. So maybe I should just stop talking about that, because I don't really know. Joan says they reportedly just broke up. Oh, okay. Thank you. See, I love a knowledgeable community. Reba says, we are not safe in a world run by corrupt and unscrupulous men. So you could say that again. Reba. I mean, it's serious. We are not safe. Let's see. Sheila says, hi, Sheila James. Sheila says, Andrew saw all the empathy Harry, especially Meghan, got in Africa documentary, and thought his royal status would bamboozle people and gain him enough empathy than Meghan as for his lies as a deaf. I'm not sure I understand what you mean. Andrew saw the empathy they got in Africa documentary and thought his royal status would bamboozle people and gain him even more empathy than Meghan for his lies. If you're talking about the same African documentary, I mean, at least not in the UK. I mean, UK was rough. At least reporters were attacking them for that documentary, if that's what you mean. So either way you look at it, I mean, that interview, Andrew's interview, was a bad was a bad idea for one. I understand what he was trying to do, but the thing with that interview is that unfortunately for him, he was being himself. And being himself was, arrogant. I don't care. I don't care about people. They're pretty much nothing. And that kind of is what came across. And honestly, and I've said this before, I appreciated seeing that interview because then he's one of those people. He is who he is. He wasn't pretending. He wasn't, I mean, other than when he's like, oh no, I didn't know her at all. I mean, that was an obvious lie. But who you got to see is who he is and how he sees when we saw those girls. They're just, he the arrogance, all of it is just who he is. And so for me, I rather see that than somebody pretending to be somebody they're not. Yes, it definitely dumped him in a whole more hot water than he was in. But I appreciated seeing the real person. That way I don't have to wonder who Prince Andrew is. I know because he was being himself. So I appreciated that interview. It didn't help him any, obviously. April May. Hi, April May. April May says they're saying that about Diana because they know Harry knows the real truth about what happened to his mother. Then they will try to insinuate that they are both paranoid. Exactly. It's exactly what we were just saying. Yep, exactly. It's an old thing. They do things to make you, for example, they're listening on your listening devices on your conversations and all of that stuff. And then when you start, really believing that they are following you or filming you or whatever, then they're like, oh, no, that's not true. They basically gaslight you and claim that you're paranoid when absolutely that is what they were doing. I mean, there's evidence all over the place. That's exactly what they're doing. Again, if Princess Diana was paranoid, she had every right to be because that's what they were doing to her. So, and it's exactly what they've been doing to Harry. Let's see. Story says, penalty can't stay silent. They can't silence him in this day and age. Notice H has done interviews, podcasts, media can see, and now his autobiography, he learned from Diana. Get the story out in multiple ways. Exactly. And thank God Princess Diana knew to do that as well. She got it in a book. She got it in interview. Yes, exactly. One of the things Andrew Morton was saying too is that Martin Bashir convinced her that the only way that she would stay alive and would have a connection with her kids is by speaking the truth on television, by letting people know. And I believe he was correct. She ended up still dying, but she knew, she had even wrote notes that, she thought that they would do something to her car brakes. She wasn't far off. Look how she died, And so it's like, that's the thing. And for me, I've always believed that is why we got that Oprah interview. Harry and Meghan knew they had to do it. They had to, and that is what put the brakes on. And yes, they're still coming at them, but more people are now more aware. That's why you got the P word and all of those things. People are coming after William and stuff with a vengeance. And more people are knowing. And that's the thing with the royal family. They don't want people to know the truth. They don't want people to know their nasty ways. They can't hide now. So let's move on, see what else I got. Oh, actually, yeah. One of the things that I Oh yeah, we can talk about this. One of the things that I'm gonna try to do more of is we have comments here in the live chat, but we also have comments in the regular chats, and I've never really commented on I definitely respond, but I haven't really responded or talked about the comments that we have in our regular comments. So I thought I would bring in some comments, every time I would take a couple and bring in and just talk. We can chat about what stock. I'm not going to bring anybody's name in because I didn't ask anyone. I don't want to put anyone feeling badly, or it's like, oh no, put anybody in the spot or anything. But I'm just going to bring the comments in, and I'm not going to say who it belongs, just in case a person didn't want their name there as well. So this was one comment I got because last episode I was talking about Zelensky and inviting one of the garbage twins to his country and to do an interview, and also was talking about them doing the Vogue photo shoot. And with the Vogue photo shoot, again, when you've been in war, stuff is just, it's a mess. And I don't begrudge anyone having a moment where they feel beautiful, or where they it's been months of bombs dropping on them. And I don't begrudge them doing. I don't know that it's necessarily a good look. I don't know that it's necessarily appropriate while the rest of your country is getting bombed, that you're doing a photo shoot for Vogue, and then you're doing one with soldiers. Yeah, I don't know that was the best decision, but in those times, I'm not going to judge it. Okay. But one of the things that I do have a problem with is that they invited this garbage twin to the UK, to Ukraine, to to an interview, because my thing with that is they're not just inviting him. What they've done is invited Rupert Murdoch. And what we do know about Rupert Murdoch and his entire company, organization, whatever you call it, a News Corp. It's about propaganda. It's about fake news. It's about destabilizing democracies. This is what Rupert Murdoch is about. That's why we have the mess we have, not all of it, but partly why we have the mess we have in the US, the UK. Australia is just coming out of their mess by, they kicked out their last prime minister and now have a new one. And thank God we have, the US is trying to somehow recover, but we're still a mess. Democracy here is like literally hanging by the thread because of people like Rupert Murdoch. So when I see this, it's like you are inviting that into your country while you're saying, Russia is about propaganda and all of that stuff. Well, what do you think is you just invited into your home or invited into your country by inviting this garbage tree? Rupert Murdoch comes with it. That's who his boss is. That's who his show is about. That's who they are. And so that's where I had, and then we talked about just just the racism in the Ukraine. One of the reasons I just sort of just left them alone. I wish them well, obviously, but I've just had to leave them alone. And so we had a comment, one of our community members, they didn't necessarily agree with what I said, and that's fine. I am so fine with, again, you don't have to agree with things I say. We all are different people. We all have different perspectives in life. And I appreciate people just being bluntly honest. Like, no, I don't agree with you. I have my own thoughts. I appreciate that. So one of our community members did not agree, says, and I thought she made some really good point, actually. And she said, oh Lord, Senator Pete and Senator Warren from MA would appear on Fox News, but it doesn't mean that they've endorsing, or they are endorsing Fox and Rupert Murdoch. It's simplistic, pedal. It's your podcast, and you may feel as you want, but war is hell. Those in it do anything. Fox gets 3 million viewers nightly, and many GOP lawmakers listen to them. Ukraine needs all funding from Congress. Next matter. No human is perfect. War is hell. And she does have a point. I mean, yes, Senator Pete and Warren do appear on Fox News, and they do, and there's always that, it's like in this antagonist because they're obviously on opposite ends of the spectrum, and Fox News, as crazy as they are and as fake and false as they are with a lot of their especially opinion pieces and stuff like that, they do appear on Fox. But my comeback for that is appearing on a show, like for example, you're zooming in or something, or you're doing an interview on the street or wherever, is different from inviting these people into your home. You know what I mean? Inviting Fox in, it's like you're just doing an interview. I think, for me, I think it's very different. And she's right. War is hell. I'm not gonna be here sitting, judging them based on like, okay, yes, they're in a definitely horrible situation. She goes on to say, you know what, Ukraine needs all the funding from Congress. Well, Zelensky has literally Zoom or whatever private way he was able to zoom into Congress and speak to all of them. He didn't have to invite Fox News to come into his country to do that. He's literally done that before, where he zoomed in or whatever form of video feed that they had for him to speak to all the member of Congress. He's done that before. So he didn't need to bring Fox News there when he's done that before. And again, she's saying that they need funding. Well, I'm sorry, the U.S. has been giving Ukraine tons of money. Actually, this is what on July 8th, it says the U.S. sent its 15th military package to Ukraine, bringing the total aid in the Russia war to $7 billion. So that's not it, right? Inviting them is not because you need money, because again, this month, they're getting their 15 package, $7 billion that the U.S. have already given to the Ukraine. So for me, that doesn't wash for me, And when you think of the fact that Ukraine got $7 billion and we have yet to get funding for things like paid leave for all for families. So for me, that doesn't wash for me at all. I mean, I do get what she's saying. Yes, they need GOP lawmakers, and some of them are not on board, but some of them are not on board for a lot of reasons, And for me, bringing it doesn't justify bringing Rupert Murdoch into your country. For me, that is literally siding with white supremacy. It is leaning into white supremacy. It's leaning into the right wing. It's the same reason why he leans into his relationship with Boris Johnson. That is, I will stand on that. For me, that is what, and I don't agree with. I appreciate her comment, but I don't agree with it. And then she, then she said we're going back and forth, and then she says, well, thanks to my response. She says, I don't agree. Piers Morgan on the 17th of January 2011 premiered his replacement of Larry King's show on CNN. Guest for the 1-hour show was Oprah, who ended her successful show on May 2011. Many knew Piers Morgan and his questionable, unethical, dastard conduct, or was not endorsing him. His CNN show was canceled in February in 2021. Biden met Saudi butcher. He was not endorsing Saudi Arabia or its immune conduct. GOP in the U.S. is most reluctant to help Ukraine. Some have stated so. War is hell. The Ukraine leader will be judged by history, the good, the bad, the ugly, no doubt. Thanks for replying. It's your entitled opinion. Just don't share them. And I appreciate that. We can agree to disagree, and that is absolutely fine. For me, I say what we accepted in 2011 is very different from what we accept in 2022. We are in a different place, a lot more enlightened with how, with so many different things that some of the things that we did back then, we would never do today, because we have a better understanding of what is right and what is wrong, and what is acceptable and what is not. And because Oprah went on a show back in 2011 doesn't mean she'll do it in 2022, where he is blatantly abusing Black women, where he is blatantly attacking and bullying Black women. I don't expect to see Oprah on P.S. Morgan's show right now. If she is, I will call her out, as I've called out other women who have been on the show. Like I've called out people like Mel B and Martina Navratilova for going on his show, knowing what he is and how he treats women. And so I don't expect to see Oprah on her show, even though she was there 2011. So we see this differently. And, she has a point in that, yes, Biden was in Saudi Arabia talking to MBJ, whatever his name is, who the butcher, yes, he was. And that is a good point. That is a great point, and I'm just gonna leave her with that one. That is a great point. But I mean, personally, I don't see, is one thing for me, a leader talking to leaders. Another thing for me is inviting someone whose clear agenda is to destabilize democracy into your country. If you are against propaganda and fake news, that doesn't make any sense to me. Inviting people who are definitely pro that, but then on the other hand saying, well, that's what, like, that doesn't make any sense. So anyway, that's yeah, I don't know if that makes sense, but that was one of the comments, and I appreciate that I could go back and forth with that. I appreciate that, her clear opinion and my we just agree to disagree, and I appreciate it. I love those kind of going back and forth. So yeah. Joy says Oprah will not do Pierce. Well, if she does, this point will truly surprise me. Yeah, it'll just surprise me too. I think the things that we accepted back then, being more enlightened now, I don't see that happening. I don't see us doing the things that we did back in 2011. That doesn't make any sense. Let's see. Mira says, Pedal, ask Baron how he blocked the trolls so moderators can be a little more relaxed. Well, don't stress. Please don't stress moderators. If they come, we'll just block them as they come. I think there is a way to block things. The problem with using the tool, it sometimes blocks squatties, because I've had quite a few of you ask me to ask Baron to unblock you. And I think using that tool blocks you, and I don't want to block you, and I don't want you to have to go. Yeah, I see a bunch of them in the site here right now. Let's see, using timeout. Okay, got rid of that. Okay. Yeah, I don't want you to be blocked, because it's very, I think it's very across the board. There may be certain words that it'll pick up that, it will block. So I don't want to do that. But again, moderators, please don't stress. We will get them. It's nothing, I'm also going to be looking and making sure that I'm not putting any of it on the screen. Hopefully, read a little bit so I don't put any of it on the screen as well. So, but please don't stress. We'll just get them as they come. It's nothing to stress over. So, and our moderators are doing a great job. I mean, you guys are awesome. So, yeah. Let's see. Let's go down and see what y'all saying in the chat. Joan Commonwealther. Hello, Joan. I love that, Joan Commonwealther. Joan says, endorsed a lot of clowns. Dr. Phil and Dr. and Oz, yes. To name a few. She gave them a huge platform. She certainly did. But I don't see O going on those platforms. Next thing you know, Dr. Oz may be a senator because he won his part of it. I guess the like the primary, I guess, like in Pennsylvania, even though he lives in New Jersey. I don't even know how you do that, but it's crazy. But he's one, so please pray that people in Pennsylvania do not pick this man to go be a senator, because Lord have mercy, we have enough issues going on. um Blackweed says, oh, she's talking to Legs. Ukraine don't have a love for black people. None of these Eastern European bloc countries do. Why aren't they concerned with African suffering? We are in an age where we are all just concerned about self. That's the thing. People are just concerned about what's going on in their life, in their country, and they are not interested, unless it affects them, about looking about on the outside. Let's see, another person in the comment. Oh, sorry. Another comment I got, it says, as a black person, me see through black eyes. As a biracial person, we both sides, and as a white person, they see through white person's eye. And yes, generally yes, but I think, no matter what lens you're looking through, you're also just looking for the truth. And no matter if it's black, white, biracial lenses, I would hope that we're all will just be looking for the truth, no matter where it comes from. So that's my take on that. Yes, I can't change the fact that I'm black. Somebody can't change the fact that they're white or biracial, but we can all be looking for the truth, no matter where it is. So that's my take on that. If anybody in here is from Zambia, can you guys just tell me a bit about this? It says we're talking about this is in reference to the Commonwealth. We were talking about what's the purpose of the Commonwealth, like how is it benefiting people? And this is one of our community members. She says, "You're so right, Pedal. Zambians cannot get visas for UK, and yet we're part of the Commonwealth. British Airways doesn't fly to Zambia either." I didn't know this. So, and I did not bring, oh shoot, this is probably one I should have brought in, who this was, that said this. And so if you, who wrote this comment is here, sorry, and want to, elaborate on this, or if anyone else is here from Zambia, please, I didn't know this until I was just like, what? I didn't know that. So yes, apparently, yeah, they can't get visas to the UK. Unreal, and they're part of the Commonwealth. Again, what is the benefit? How is the Commonwealth helping the people of especially even black and brown countries? How are they helping? How are the people benefiting from this? One of our other family members says, please guys, something must be done to stop William and Kate from coming to America to scupper Harry and Meghan. They won't. America, I'm assuming that our community member here is not from the U.S. The U.S. is a huge country. They are on opposite sides. William and Kate would be on the East Coast, and and Harry and Meghan are on the West Coast. Never the twain shall meet. There are hours in between. What is it, 4 to 6 hour flight time? Well, sometimes different depending on how you're traveling, whether you're stopping or going straight. It's about between 4 and 7 hours it takes to get from one side to the other. And so they're not going. Why I actually want them to come, because this is the best opportunity for real reporters to question them if they come, because they're going to be asking them things. And I hope, that it's not just ABC and NBC sort of, sycophantic reporters who would interview them, but investigative reporters will ask them real questions. So I do want them here. I want reporters going after them and really asking them tough questions. Like, why do you fly around in a big burgundy helicopter car while you're coming here trying to tell people about the environment? That would be the one thing. Another, why do you have 4 houses? How do you heat all 4 houses? Basic questions. Why does the Queen have environmental immunity? Why is she, why did she lobby the Scottish Lords so she doesn't have to follow environment? I'm sorry, why did she lobby Scottish Parliament so she does not have to follow environmental laws? And if she's doing that, How are you leading in environmental issues? I mean, it's ridiculous. I want them to be, and why are your press going after Harry and Meghan while you're doing all this mess? And plus, you didn't even come up with Earthshot, Ignace Shopes, again, all the things. So yes, I want them in America. I want real journalists going up them. So yes. Oh, thank you. One of our wonderful squaddies gave us the answer to this. Because I was asking, I didn't know where it's come from, and she says it's from a series of books called Little Miss and Mr. Books, and taught to kids about manners and being a good person. The book is called Little Miss Sunshine, but it looks like a tweeter changed it to Freckles to reference Meghan. I love these books as a kid. Give it to Google. They're beyond adorable. I just thought it was, yeah. Yes, I thought it was. So thank you so much for responding and letting me know, because I was thinking about this. And another question, we'll just go quickly through them. One of our community members says, honestly, I know race plays a factor, but I believe it is mostly jealousy and that breeds hatred. Didn't they do the same to Princess D and Wallace Simpson, and they're white? I had a co-worker and a friend that had been jealous, and they created hatred and tried to convince others. It worked for a while until the eyes of others were opened. And I think more and more the eyes of people are opening now. Yeah, that definitely, race is definitely there, but yeah, jealousy, whew, that is a royal family trait. Jealousy. This is cool. This is about water. I admire Meghan's work with water. My dissertation is on women micro initiatives in Kenya. My women's group built a water tank for my project and provided water for the local villages. It is a small project it's a small project that brought a lot of good to people. This is why I support Meghan's project so much. It supports the poorest of the poor. I wish I could do more, but I don't have wealthy friends who earn thousands of dollars. Because of this, I wrote my dissertation as a tribute to the women who were working so hard to bring water to their village and make their lives better. And this is so wonderful. Thank you so much. Our community, Sussex community, is amazing, and the things that you're doing. So thank you so much for doing this and being a part of bringing this to this community in Kenya. Thank you. Yes, definitely. Definitely a project. Definitely like the Meghan's Rwanda project. So that is awesome. And this one is like, pedal stop. She's like, facts and 2 cents. We're expecting them to stop lying on Meghan. But they will never stop. It is called intellectual warfare. Stop expecting them to fact check. Their goal is to make Harry so unhappy and so frustrating to leave that he leave Meghan. I hope Harry stays strong. At times I see him buckling under the pressure. They can't chase them into a tunnel, so this is another form of attack. They're leaving, and exposing them to protect their lives will not be taken sitting down. So stop expecting the press and the royals to stop. It is their reality. Thank you for that kick in the booty, because you're right. I need to stop expecting people to stop lying. I don't expect them to stop lying. I expect the press to fact check them. At least real journalists to fact check, especially the press, the UK press. I expect US journalists, when they're on there, to fact check. But you're right. They're not going to stop. So I should stop expecting them to stop. This question I've gotten a couple of times. I have been a supporter of Harry and Meghan since 2017. I've supported the squad fundraisers and multiple charities of the Sussexes. Why have my comments been deleted? And okay, so I've gotten to quite a few people have said that their comments have been deleted on YouTube on our space, and I am so sorry that your comments was deleted. There are a couple of reasons that if I was the one that deleted, there are a couple of reasons I would ever delete. I don't usually delete comments, but there are a couple of reasons why I would delete a comment. One is if there's cussing in this. You guys know how I feel about cussing. I don't keep it in the chat here, and don't keep it in the regular comment. I'll delete it. If it's something that is from a troll, I will delete it. If you've and one of the reasons I always say, please don't comment under trolls. If you see it's a troll, don't comment under it. I go through all the comments and I'll delete it. It might take me a day or so sometimes, but I will delete it. But if you comment under a troll post, when I delete it, your comment will also be deleted. So just so you know, so just please don't delete and don't comment under there. Just leave them and I will take it out. Another reason I will, if I delete a comment, it'll be if it is rude, if it is, offensive in some way. Unfortunately I've experienced that within our community, and I've had to say something to a couple of people that I'm sorry. Please be honest, but please be respectful. So if it's disrespectful and rude, I'll delete it. Most times what I will do is I will comment back to the person, because I know they're part of the community, and we all have our days. Sometimes we just are in a bad mood, and I'm not going to, so I'll most likely respond and say, and you know me well enough to know that I will just be honest, and say, well, thank you, but this is whatever. If it's extremely, then I will delete it. So those are the reasons I will delete. What has happened sometimes is I would go through all the comments and it's done. I'm done with all the comments, and I will check back. I'll get one or two, and then that'll all be what I see. Then out of the blue, I would get a ton of comments from a month ago from somewhere. And I have no idea. So some of you may have gotten a response from me saying, I am so sorry, I just saw this. And that is the reason, because somehow a lot of comments get hidden and then they just drop in the box and from like a month ago, and I have no idea where they came from. And so sometimes that is the case. And so you'll get back those very, like, I'm sorry, I'm just seeing this now. But other than those things, if it's deleted, I am so sorry. I don't know why else it would be deleted. If you don't fit into any of those things, I don't know. YouTube comments are weird. I don't know why it's the way it is. It's just weird. So I just wanted to say that. But those are some of the comments I had. I just wanted to, honor that people have, I guess I'm going on and on and on, but I just wanted to honor that. But every now and then I'll pull in some comments and see. So let me just jump in the chat and see what you guys are saying. Scrolling down. Lydia says, Polo, we've removed them from the chat, but you will see them. Oh, okay. That's what that is. Oh, okay, cool. Thank you, Lydia. I'm sure I figured you guys got them. So that's awesome. Thank you. And again, we'll get to them. Nobody stress. We'll take them out. Thank you guys. We have the best moderators. So awesome. Thank you. Let's see. Mary Davis. Let's see what Mary says. I think nothing should be undercover. Everything should be out in the open for the good and bad, the bad and the ugly. It should be what we can all see, because there's too much corruption going on. Yeah. Especially, I'm assuming you're talking about the royal family. They have this thing about, oh no, don't let the light in because it would expose the magic. And it's like, there is no magic. There's only corruption. That's what you don't want people to see. So yeah, it definitely, especially it's a government institution, it should be open. So yeah. Let's see. Sheila says, a photo up with Ukrainian leader is to get the attention seekers and Western politicians looking to look good during these troubling times. I'm not quite sure I understand, but okay. I don't begrudge, if you've been living in the mess that's been going on there. I wouldn't want to be in a situation where, you have bums falling in your head. So I don't begrudge somebody wanting to have a moment where they feel like a normal person and they look good and feel, you know what I mean? I don't want to begrudge that. Just the other stuff that the other stuff that I'm like, no, I'm not feeling that. So, Joy says Dr. Oz has messed himself up going with D. Trump. A lot of people have done that. Duchess says, oh, hi, Anne. How are you? Anne says, I'm Zambian. I don't know about the visas, but British Airways doesn't have a direct flight. Oh, wow. Anne, I didn't know that you were Zambian. That's so good to hear. Yeah, well, that's the comment she made. She said that they can't get visas to the UK, and so there's, she's confirming that British Airways does not have a direct flight to Zambia. Did they ever say why? Is that like they don't have an airport that fits the airplane? I mean, I'm trying here. Like, why don't they have a direct flight to Zambia? That's very interesting. Like, you would think, right? I mean, this is a Commonwealth country, and you would think, again, does the Commonwealth, countries being a member of the Commonwealth, does that really benefit the actual people living in those countries, especially Black and brown countries? And so there is one example, so we just need some confirmation on the visas. And wow. And also good to know where Anne is from. So thank you, Anne. Wow. Leg says, Pedal, there are 3 different time zones between them. I wouldn't worry. Who? I think I got mixed up with who are we talking about? Are we talking about Kate and William and Harry and Meghan? You're right, because West Coast in the US, like West Coast is like 3 hours behind. So so most likely if they're doing something in the morning, Harry and Meghan would be sleeping anyway. So it's like whatever. So let's see. Oh, Sheila's saying, Sheila, this is your time now. I'm always jumping on you. Squatty should stop mentioning KP spending too and not give them publicity, promotion, and attention they want. Squatties pay them more mind than anyone else. You do got a point. So that goes for me as well. So thank you. Oh, okay. So Duchess of Success, Anne says, I'm pretty sure you can get a tourist visa to the UK from Zambia, but it's significantly harder to get a working visa nowadays compared to when my parents immigrated. Oh, I see. Okay. So a tourist visa you can get. How much? One of the things I've also heard is like how expensive it is to get a visa. Yeah. That is the thing, how expensive that is. Which is I know squatties in Jamaica, and I've heard people from Jamaica talking about how difficult it is to get a visa and how expensive it is. So, yeah. Lydia says, Pedal, we need to send you to Boston. I actually like Boston. I wouldn't actually, if I could go as press, then yeah, sure. I'm not just going to go just to see. I don't care that much. If I could go as press and be there to possibly ask questions, then sure. I have quite a few I'd like to be asking. But yes, otherwise, no. No interest. Going as press, yes. Okay, I will do that. Oh, wow. NRB, thank you so much for your super sticker. I appreciate your support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see. Gwendolyn says, just saw Cricket Charles, except one from the Bin Laden brothers. Yep. Yep, Gwendolyn. It's a thing with Charles, apparently. It is a thing with Prince Charles. Let's see. Lex says, she's talking to, yeah. Oh, sorry. I'll jump in there. I'll just leave you to your conversation. I'm so sorry. Don't mean to jump into your conversation. Adrian says, Margaret used to complain about how much popularity Diana was getting to the Queen. I mean, oh God, the jealousy. Yes, that jealousy of the royal family. It's like, I mean, you would think it's been so many years. You think get a program, get some kind of help, get some mental something to try to build up your self-esteem so you don't pass on that jealousy, though at least if it's there, you learn how to manage it so that way you're not destroying yourself, your monarchy, and everybody else around it. That jealousy has been, I'm telling you, it's like there is an unwillingness to learn and an unwillingness to understand, like, these things can be changed. Yes, you may have it in you, but there are ways that you can curb them so that way you can be positive and enjoy someone's success and and enjoy it with them, and then still enjoy whatever it is you have. It's unreal to me that they haven't figured out that there are ways to deal with this. And so they just keep perpetuating this behavior. Generation after generation, they have this mess. And so you have, the other brother doing the same thing to his younger brother. It's unreal. They just don't want to learn, it seems. Let's see. Going down. Let me see what else I have here. Do I have something? Oh, this is totally unrelated to stuff, but I saw this and I thought, this is so cool. Where's Adrian? Let's move this out of here. This is so cool. This is a passenger bus in Indonesia that's just for women. And I was like, this is completely unrelated to anything, about the Sussexes, but I just thought it was so cool. And it says the pink bus is designed to give women passengers in Indonesia a safe means of transportation free from sexual harassment or other problems. And a lot of the people that travel on these are Muslim women and stuff like that. And I just think, and it's a pink bus, and I just think it's the best idea. And apparently I think they have between 5 and 8 of them, and it had stopped running because of the pandemic, and now it started back again. And I just thought it's just the coolest thing. I was like, yeah, these women could go on there and they don't have to worry about being molested or, harassed or whatever. They can sit in peace and be able to travel from here to there. And I just thought it was just the best idea. I just never would have thought that's existed. And then there it was. And I just was like, oh, this is really cool. And again, it's not related to anything. I just thought I'd share it because, we're women. Well, not all of us, a majority of us. And I just thought, yeah, this exists. Maybe we need that in the US, having one for women. And I laughed when I saw this because the NHS is doing, the Commonwealth Games is going on. And the NHS is doing I guess they're celebrating, and they're like, as the Commonwealth Games kick off, we want to celebrate our NHS colleagues who have represented their country in sports this year, including pediatric psychotherapist Kelly, who competed in the Invictus Games, winning 4 silver and 2 bronze medals. And I just thought it was so fantastic that they picked this. And of course, they could have picked anything to use, or any photo to use, for the Commonwealth Games, but they picked her, who was part of the Invictus, and picked Harry to use. And again, Harry does have the Invictus does have their mental health initiative that they have allowed the NHS to use to help their doctors and nurses with mental fitness, especially in during COVID. So I can understand that part too. But I just think it was so cool and interesting that they have a whole monarchy there with all their futures and futures, and they picked Harry, of course. I was like, of course, they choose our fave. And then I love this. Who knew that this is International Friendship Day? I had no idea. And it's so cool that the U.S. Army Corps and Invictus are celebrating. And it says nothing says International Day of Friendship more than the Invictus Games. Invictus Games NL was a melting pot of competitors and friends from 20 nations. And this is the U.S. Army Corps tweeting that. And then on the right, Invictus Foundation, happy International Friendship Day, Day of Friendship. The Invictus Game Foundation has always recognized the importance friends play in the recovery journey. And this video is a beautiful showcase of friendship, and these two are friends, and she has been able to help him as he recovers. And they were talking about just how important friendship is in the recovery process, and I just thought it was fantastic. So happy International Friendship Day to all my 372 and more friends on our chat right now, on our podcast right now. So I just wanted to wish you all that. That's all I got for stuff. So let's see some more of you, and then oh my gosh, it's almost 2.5 hours we've been here. This is me not paying attention. So let's see, go through the chat and see a little bit more of you, and then we'll say night. Let's see. But it's great to end on International Friendship Day. Church Nelly, I didn't even say hi to you. I did not. She's like, that's awesome. It would have been better if they were law protecting women all over. That would be really great, but I feel like, I guess if you're talking, I'm assuming you're talking about the bus. Yeah, it's like, you know what? Until we get that, this we can do this part. And so whoever came up with the pink bus is a great idea until they do have laws protecting women all over, including the U.S. and our protecting our choices and our bodies. Yes, thank you, Church Nelly. I am so happy to see you here. Let's see who else we can chat with before we head out. Oh, Trish Nelly again says, how much money you want to bet that the crown will be watered down? Oh, it totally is. I mean, if this is correct, I heard that they are going to be including what Martin Bashir did, like how he was able to get that interview with Princess Diana. I'm sure I have a feeling that the royal family may have gotten to them. Of course, you want to intrude the truth. Martin Bashir was conniving and all of that stuff to get that. I mean, you can't condone what he did at all. But as Andrew Morton said, when the camera was turned on, nobody twisted Princess Diana's arm to say what she said, because she had already said it in the past. So yeah. So yeah, yeah. Oh, Lex, thank you so much. Thank you. Happy International Friendship Day to you too. Oh, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate it. Oh, I love that. Thank you. Let's see. Let's see, a couple more. I keep saying that. Probably just because I don't want to leave. Oh no, John Newborn. John just gotten in there. It's like, just read the Times that one of Windsor accept £1 million from Osama Bin Laden's half brother. Guess which one? Ooh, geez, I guess. Which one do you think will do that? Yes. I'm telling you, the royal family is something else. Unreal to me. Um, um, Adrian says, I don't know exactly when William and Kate are coming to America. I think it's in December or sometime. I think I probably deliberately don't exactly know what day. So I'm sure it'll be on the news here when they're coming. So, but again, America, I'm sure there are going to be people curious as always to royalty, but usually America is just not. Yeah, usually we think it's cute. Crowns are cute, but not really into all of it. I mean, it's a cute spectacle for a minute, and then I think we're kind of really shallow here, so it's not all that deep. So, no problem, Julie Rock. It was wonderful having you here. See you next time. And we're going to end shortly. I'm just going through the chat to see if what else I could. Who else is chatting before we say goodnight? Eoma says, that's how it starts. Next, they will segregate women to protect them in all areas. Punish men who harass them. Problem solved. I think, not sure the segregating people would, is the answer. I think there needs to be laws. I think we need to be together, but there need to be stricter laws when it comes to harassment and all of those things, where they're harassed and abused and are put on trial and then made to feel like, they're the ones that committed a crime. So, that is what usually happens a lot, where that's why a lot of people, for example, rape victims and stuff, don't want to come forward, because then they are put on trial, and it's like trauma upon trauma. So there need to be better laws in place to protect people. If something like that happened, you punish the guilty and not destroy the victims. So yeah, so that's my thinking on that. And let's see, last one. And Fu says, I am so happy that I have such beautiful friends within Sussex community. This is a blessing. And we'll end it right there. That is wonderful. Yes, I am so happy as well. I am so happy that we are part of a community, that we are united around one thing, one family. And as they do great works, we are united around their work and really support each other. And that we are here and we're calling out and speaking truth to power and calling out the mess when we see it. So I am really, really happy to be part of a community that does that. So, final one. Petal, where's Pamela? She's busy. Where is it? I just jumped. Adrian is asking, where's Pam? She's working, and I'm assuming when she has the time, she'll come back. I don't know when that will be. So I'm so sorry she hasn't been here. And so hopefully when she is available, whenever that is, she will come by and say hello. So I know a lot of you have been asking about her. So I will pass on to her that you're thinking about her and asking about her. But sometimes work and, you got priorities, you got things to do, you have, family to take care of, and there are things that you want to do, but you just are not able to do it. And so hopefully when she is able to, she will come by and say hello. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me and gabbing with me on a Saturday evening. Hope you guys have a great day. I'm gonna put back on our music as we say goodnight in space. And maybe tomorrow we'll be back. Yeah, we go. Tomorrow we'll be back and we'll be chatting about maybe Prince Charles's corruption again or something. Hopefully we have more encouraging news than that, but that might be part of what we'll chat about. So anyway, guys, have a fantastic night. I love you all. Love this community. And I will see you all next time. Thank you so much, our incredible moderators. Lydia, Karen M. I didn't see Cookies and Cream today. Julia Rock. Trish, Nelly, thank you all so much. You are absolutely amazing. I love you. If you have not subscribed to our channel, please do. Click the notification bell so that you know when we drop a video. Like and share so that you can help us build a channel. We definitely want to have a bigger community. Please help us. And or you can also join our channel where you support us monthly. Thank you so much to all of you who have done that and are supporting us. We are most grateful for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You are not obligated at all to do it, but we are grateful if you do. So thank you guys. Have a fantastic Saturday, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.